Don't mind my friend back there. That's going to be my Velma for the day. Sorry, Velma. So as part of our rebrand and coming back online, we decided to do a few things that allow us to shoot videos while we are apart. And one of those things is to go back on our previous videos and see how our perspectives have changed. So hi, my name is Christy, and I'm going to be doing this segment to analyze is one called Money Matters in Relationships. We're going to attach it up here. So I'm just going to be watching and then reacting to what was mentioned and any perspectives that have changed. So stay tuned and I hope you like this episode. Hey everybody, subscribers and freshers alike. Wow, first of all, I'm just gonna attach like I think a picture in picture here and show you like the intro to that video, and I'm just thinking, wow, times have changed. And it was really exciting at this time. This is a video we did in this is 3 years ago. We did it on June 24th, 2020. We uploaded it then. Channel, so excited. Let me take this opportunity to first of all shout out one of the first guests we ever had on the channel. It was Noreen, Maya, and Vive. Oh my god, you guys are the best. I think at the time we really didn't have much footing on this whole issue. We were just trying to figure out how to set up a camera, and man. Would you date a man who earns less than you? No. Would I date a man who earns less than me? Absolutely. Okay, right now we're obviously not talking dating. We're talking perhaps engagement and courtship. It's not about the age, it's about the space in which I think I would say Velma and I and a few of our friends, our clique is in. So dating, okay, perhaps dating with an end in mind. I think at this time we were still dating just to get a hang of it. I'll talk some other day about how I was dating wrongly. I think the determining factor would be what is your money attitude? How do you behave because you earn less than me? If you feel threatened, if you feel, if you use it as a reason to gaslight me or just make me feel terrible, or if the money becomes an issue in our relationship, then definitely no. So it has more to do with the attitude that someone has, but not about the amount. Honestly, I may not be 50-50 babes. I may also still be very traditional in terms of how I think of breadwinning. But in a situation where a relationship has been blessed with one who earns more, and this can elevate us to the next level, then I don't have an issue with that. Why? Viv said no. Alisema atamkalia. She said that naturally men are intimidated by women who earn more than them. I don't know. I want you to comment in the comment section if you believe that to be true. Maya also said no, and her reason is that a man should provide for a woman and you can just be there seated doing nothing. Before we proceed, just to let you know that Velma will do her reaction to one point. So stay tuned for that one as well. Noreen said that they might not get along, and if the man wants to account for her money, then it's going to be a problem. I partially agree with what she said about sometimes the lady earning more than the guy might become a problem if it's being micromanaged, and I think it's vice versa. I don't like the idea of micromanaging your partner's money, especially if they're not being neglectful. There's no reason to micromanage. The next question is a bit similar. Have you ever dated a man who earns less than you? And even before the girls answer, personally, yes. And Kilini Ramba, let me be honest, Kilini Ramba. Okay, the girls are saying that yes, they've dated such a person before, and they're saying that it's like ending up with a big baby. Like you have to send fare. There's something in particular that they've mentioned that you have to send fare hadi a 50 bob. Now, this is where the maybe the crazy red flags are at. I noticed it was the tiny, for my case, I noticed it was the tiny expenditures that were a bit icky that really made me squirm and feel very uncomfortable once I was out of that situation. And I was like, it's not that this guy didn't even have the capability to pay for fries 100 bob. So why was I paying? Why was I always the one who was paying? They are gold diggers. I've noticed there's a part of the video that perhaps Velma also didn't agree to, and she tried to like stop it before it got too deep. A case of sending fare, and the guy comes to your place and stays all day, and he asks you what he can get for you, and you say, let's say for example, you say you want white chocolate, and he comes with soda that's way cheaper, and says that there was no white forest in town. Now, as much as that conversation might have been a bit cringe, I picked a couple of things from it. First of all, you're the one who asked me what to get for me. What I don't like is you asking and then you not delivering. Like, don't ask in the first place. I'm obviously a bit more mature, so I wouldn't get offended if you told me that I'm not in a position to get it. But I'll definitely be offended if you make a promise that you can't keep. And it's those situations where there's a difference between a situation where things went haywire and you didn't expect them to, and a situation where you just overpromised. Just don't overpromise. Don't overpromise. It's okay. It's okay for me to understand the situation and to work around it, but it's not okay to overpromise and then to lie that it was not available in town. Just tell me mfuko haikutosha. Though I think in other conversations we had about men and their perspectives, some of the men told us men are made of pride and ego. I don't know if I, as a female, am doing the work to be more understanding and not be more to be more understanding to like the dynamics of life. I think it's fair to say that men should also do the work to communicate effectively and to put aside this whole ego thing. The part where they say that these guys have money, they just don't want to spend, and they're masses. Well, that's true in some aspects. I think this brings about a different conversation. Yeah, if he wanted to, he could. Although I feel like that personally, I feel like that conversation is also kind of being taken out of context, because like kuna situations that if he wanted to, he could. Kuna situations that he's trying so much to show that if he wants, he can. There's a particular celebrity who's doing that right now, and I personally feel ick about it. Again, personal opinion. And then there's situations where I think with men you have to read a bit more deeply beyond the words and sometimes look at the actions. So there's mices that you can identify in terms of they really never spend on you, they don't spend on themselves. But if this guy, okay, this is a definite way to know personally. This guy doesn't spend on you, and I'm not talking about crazy expenditures. If you're you know your man, you know his limits. Don't be out here asking for a Dubai vacation and you know he can't afford that. But I'm talking in terms of expenditures like this, like meeting for a date, and maybe he's supposed to foot the. I'm also a firm believer of discussing who's footing the bill for the date. It's not always obvious. So you're meeting for a date and you notice he doesn't want to foot the bill, but the minute you guys leave the date, this guy is gonna get himself like a 5,000 pair, 5,000 Kenya shillings worth pair of shoes. That might be a red flag, in my experience and opinion. If it's just he doesn't want to spend on, so it's not good to generalize everybody, but I think discernment and intuition are just important if you want to know in which category this man lies. Wow, Velma asked a question that just triggered me. Ati, you guys are not long-term people. Like, you're not bound to stay there and wait for this guy to improve in the next 5 years. Honey, 5 years is a long time to wait for a man to change. You either take him as he is, you either understand his situation and your situation, or you cut it. 5 years is a long time. One of the girls was discussing this guy lives well. He has a pretty much decent lifestyle for himself. He never has time for you because he's always working hard, grinding, hustling, getting the bag. But when you suggest at a cost sharing, he's not willing to do that. And then we also have a situation where when he's with other crowds, you can tell he's spending. That's the thing I was talking about. It's not adding up. This is 2 plus 2 is 5. Viv just gave a very nice example. She's like, if you have a boyfriend and you at one point maybe get freaked out if you have a pregnancy scare with this guy, then that should tell you something. I think I do agree with this. Like, as much as I'm for 100% preparedness, financially, emotionally, and spiritually, whatever, for the woman, you have to be 100% for yourself before you think of pregnancy. Like, trust me, if you understand where intimacy leads, don't get it started because you know the consequences, man. All these barriers you may put in the way, they may not work. So just make sure as long as you're enjoying the goodies, just ensure that you're 100% in yourself as a woman prepared for all this. But anyways, I was saying beyond the preparation of the woman, if you feel like you're in a situation where you don't trust yourself to be pregnant around this guy you're dating, that's obviously a red flag. We were talking here, they were talking about this in terms of finances. So she was like, you don't want to be with a guy whose first reaction is, oh my god, what are we gonna do? I am going to like put a disclaimer there and be like, don't be so worried about the first reaction because sometimes we are human nature, emotions, we might react differently. But if this is a persistent perspective that this guy has, like, oh my god, you're like, you told him 1 week, 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago, this guy still looks like he's in denial, red flag. I'm not an advocate of people giving pregnancy scares that are pranks to see how a guy would react because that's again immature. But I think by the time you're dating someone and you realize he has that kind of attitude towards pregnancy, he's not the proactive approach. Like, he's not like, we'll figure this out. He's like, oh my god, what are you gonna do? And it's a lasting impression. This is not someone you are waiting 5 years to see if things are gonna change or you're giving an opportunity for them to grow. The girl said they're pro crying in a Range Rover. I don't know. If you know that question, you know. Have you ever paid bills for your guy? Absolutely. I think in standard adulthood, yes. You've definitely paid bills at one point. Some more than others. So you all the girls were suffering. Walikuwa wananunua bulbs na tokens. Oh my god, like you've gone to visit this guy, unafika unapata the tokens zikilia, then they're even very fast enough to give you the account number ulipe tokens. Yo, we've gone through it. Mnaenda kwa mama mboga, this guy is like, hauna kitu hapo, hauna coins. But let me give a point regarding this. Bills, paying bills is not a problem. Again, back to the money attitude. If you're entitled to my money, or if you're completely disregarding your role in this relationship and you're just throwing everything at me, again, as an adult, you have a very good discernment of situations. So the situations you'll just know you're just getting the short end of the stick, and those are and those are the situations where I'm like, kuna pesa nangoja deal inaivana, hizi deals zinaivanga lini? Oh my god, I think some of these comments in past videos are very funny. Can you lend someone you're dating money? Absolutely. And I think, again, up to adulthood relationship, it's always good to clarify this is lended money and this is given money, so that you're not there anticipating money back and maybe you hadn't clarified that. Quite a funny one. Alikuwa anasema I would lend a guy but and expect it back, but the vice versa is not okay. That was her perspective, and the reason she gave for that is also, if I'm lending you money, what are you using it for? Like, I'm not giving you money to go party, but if you're giving me money, don't expect it back. It goes back to the whole perspective that has been around for quite a while. My money is my money, your money is our money. I don't subscribe to that. Again, I like situations that are what's good for the goose is good for the gander, because we're in a society where we both have equal opportunities to earn. The only situation I would say that maybe if my earning capability is compromised because of a situation we are both in, for example, pregnancy, then maybe I may not expect that the goose and gander situation pans out. But if we both have equal opportunity to earn, then I don't subscribe to my money is my money and your money is our money. Not really. Velma says she would date someone who earns lower because the determining factor is vision. One of the memes said that, we can't be chilling and taking tap water. If you have a person who doesn't look like they have any sort of plans for the future, red flag, red flag. We can't just be dating and there's no talks of what's the next step or what are we growing, what are we developing about ourselves. I still agree to that. You can't unless now this is the thing I like about being an adult. Just be clear for yourself what you're doing this for. If you're dating for fun, be clear that you're dating for fun. But let's not have a relationship where one person is dating for marriage and the other person is dating for fun. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Yeah, the babe said that don't initiate a move-in as a girl. I still equality and everything, I'm still against shoot your shot from the babe side. Maybe we'll talk about that in another day. But like let the guy take initiative on some of these major decisions. Because the worst thing you can do is move in with a guy prematurely. Those things you hear around that you're marking territory, you moved in one piece by one piece, and then worse so if this guy is not serious. And then you also find yourself in a situation where you're being told, can you pay for this? I'll refund. And then the refund never comes. One thing I've picked up as I make comments on this video is that all things aside, just have very good situational awareness. Understand where you are, where you're headed. And if your current situation is not serving any of those things, just I think be honest with yourself. Most of these times, I would even speak for myself and say, in the past, when I've made very wrong financial decisions in relationships, I had a sense that I'm doing something wrong. I just didn't want to accept it, and I didn't want to make the hard choice. So just normalize hard choices. Save yourself. In the long run, ultimately, this decision is gonna bite you years to come. You'd rather just cut it off in the beginning. Just don't wait. It becomes worse. The longer you wait, the worse it becomes. Another point that I agree with, they're talking about it's not that as babes we want people with money, we want people who understand themselves. I agree with that because what's the point of you earning like 500 G's a month and hujielewi, you're doing all these things that are just immature. I would rather be with someone who earns 50,000 but they know how to plan themselves. Yeah, okay. So the episode just ended and it ended on a very interesting note where it all boils down to responsibility. Having a guy who will blow like all these 500 G's on you in 1 week and the next week he doesn't even have his fare or his own fuel to go to work. It doesn't make sense. It's like you're spending money on me and ultimately it's like the money you spent on me is coming back to sort you. So you in essence you really didn't spend on me, and then that's very erratic behavior. Honestly, I wouldn't even enjoy being with a guy who blows money on me this week and he hasn't planned himself for the next couple of weeks. I understand unexpected situations, but you knew rent was due, you knew bills were due, and then you decide, I've earned 500,000, the salary, we are going to Maldives, and then we come back and then there's nothing. That's just erratic behavior in my opinion, and a very huge red flag. I'm also going to be looking at some comments to see if there's anything that I can comment on. Someone said that I believe all parties, the lady and the man, should put something on the table. Absolutely. it brings a very funny thing about the whole what do you bring to the table. I don't know. This is just, if you want us to have an episode on what do you bring to the table, please comment down below and we're going to do that. So, and somebody said, Rosie said, don't move in with anybody until you get a ring on it. Well, again, if you want a different perspective on that, comment down below. Said Veronica said the guy could be earning less but ana strive, ukiona bidii everything is okay. Absolutely. Someone commented that 12 minutes was too short. I have a feeling this reaction video is very long. So like, is 12 minutes still too short, or is this too long? And Marvin Lee said, Marvin Lee, we miss you. Able comment down below. Hini Kali, money is not love. I thought money matters. Yeah. Anyway, that was an interesting episode to watch. It was interesting to see what we thought about the last couple of years, and what has changed, what has not changed. But maybe if I'm talking about money matters in relationships in context of 2024, I'm all for openness, not openness. Yeah, here is my pay slip. Here is what I spent on burgers. I'm all for openness in terms of because there's a very weird trend I've been seeing, hearing on radio of babes having sponsors, and the guy is not aware, the husband is not aware, and then when they get caught, they're like, "See, I was making money for us." So this is, for me, it's showing a lot of issues in terms of how you guys communicate, and I'm just like, where? I would rather a situation, not that I approve of it, I would rather a situation where both of you understand what's going on. Like, this man has said, go bring that money, we eat it. But if you feel like your money is not providing enough, and maybe you've tried to talk to him and it's not working, why not? I don't get the essence of betraying someone twice. Betraying them in terms of not being satisfied with their provision, and then betraying them by cheating. It's awkward for me. I'm all for openness in terms of discussing that we're not able to afford this at this point. Maybe we can slot it for a later date. Maybe we can open a locked savings for this. We want to go for vacation. Let's open a locked savings. I'm currently at this position financially, so we may not manage that. I'm also for openness in terms of liability. Guys, openness in terms of liability. Talk about loans. Talk about potential auctioneering. This is for those guys when you one day you're a billionaire, the next day you're being auctioned. Just, I think openness can resolve a lot of these issues. And money matters in relationships, definitely one of the first things that you want to have a balanced perspective, both of you, before this relationship even goes far. Don't assume things. This is not those first date kind of situations where you're seated across this guy and the waiter brings the bill and puts it on his side automatically. Maybe you're the one who suggested the date, and you were planning to pay for it as the girl, and then you don't make any initiative to reach for the bill. You prior discussed that you're going to pay. You end up not paying because the waiter had a bill on your side anyway. But like, it's just it's always good to talk these things out. They are definitely quite uncomfortable. We've been socially conditioned to think that money discussions are uncomfortable, but I don't think that should be the case. Just normalize talking about money. Normalize talking about, say I'm the girly, you have an issue with how I spend money, how I run through money, even if it's my own. Actually, this is another thing that's not popular. My own money, maybe also providing some money for me, but let's say you have an issue with how I burn through cash, and it's causing some sort of red flags to you as a guy. You see a future with me, and you kind of don't want us to be, maybe sometimes the guy can be like, as much as I'm not checking your money as a girl, like, what does this signify for our future? Is it a red flag? Are you gonna get to a point where if you don't have enough of your money to burn through, now you start to burn through our money, and then maybe in the future there's kids there is a lot to think about, and you're just concerned. So talk about these issues. Normalize talking about money matters in relationships. And if you notice that you guys have different money habits or money personalities, I think don't force things that don't work. If you realize this guy is a big spender, he likes to spend big and go crazy, and then you are someone who gets uh pleasure from just spending minimal and always stacking up for the future, that discrepancy can become really ugly 10 years from now. So if it's not working right now, and if there's no potential for this situation to improve in the near future, I think maybe probably rethink it. Okay, that's it for this episode. Before we make it too big, let me know what you thought about this video. Did I just call it an episode? Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section down below, and then stay tuned for the next video. We are probably next video is probably going to be a group conversation once again. We really hope that's what is coming up next. So stay tuned for that. Remember to share this video, subscribe, like, share, get us back on the map, and we are going to be upholding our promise to always be putting up content. Until the next one, bye.